as you find your way there onto a reclined position, just taking a few deeper breaths, and if it feels right, allowing a few sighs to escape your mouth. Taking this time to invite everything to settle. No matter whether you've gone very far this morning or whether you stayed within your space, there's still energy that we are stirring up by just getting out of bed. So for a little while, I invite you to settle that energy again. Allowing energy to be felt in the body. And we all experience that at different levels, and there's no reason why we would want to judge this. Just experiencing it. Do you feel as if your energy allows you even to be still? Or do you feel like you really need this movement today? Acknowledge that your resistance is a valuable information for yourself as well. So while you stay lying down on your backs for that little bit longer, I invite you to feel spread out, to notice that there's more than just energy. Part of the energy, however, is the flow of your breath. Maybe you're noticing the sensation of breathing. And I invite you now to deepen the breath as it comes through the nose, taking it in until you feel full of breath. Then pause at the very top of this breath, hold the air within the body, and then slowly releasing the breath. And feel free to do so out of the mouth if that feels right, or keep the breath flowing through the nostrils. Repeat that a few times, breathing in, filling the body with air until you can't fit any more air in. Then holding this air within your body and slowly exhaling to release. Find your own pattern within this instruction of breathing. You would want to breathe in to fill yourself up with all of this energy and fresh air. Hold that energy within the body as you're holding your breath, and then exhaling again. So there's no real pause at the end of the exhalation. We'll keep it at the end of the inhalation. So you're finding your own pattern. If you feel that's beneficial, you can add Ujjayi technique to your breath. So narrowing down of the air passage in the back of the throat. And applying that, if you choose to, for inhalation as well as exhalation. If you like, you could even count the length of the in-breath as well as the length of the hold of your breath. There's no reason why you couldn't count the exhalation, but I would love your focus to be more on the in-breath and the pause at the end of that, and then a smooth, soft, constant out breath. Maybe the counting of the breath gives you a hint of where you're at with this breathing without aiming for more, just noticing your capacity of breath as it is right now. How long are you able to hold the breath within the body without any strain or stress? It's not about how long, just noticing. I invite you to do so for another 3 full breaths. After which you will pause all breathing techniques, just breathing naturally then and observing the body once more. The card for today's practice comes from the Law of Attraction deck that some of you know fairly well. It is a card that seems to be very obvious, and yet we often forget. When focusing upon solutions, I feel good. Focusing upon a solution brings you positive emotion. Focusing upon a problem brings you negative emotion. While the differences are subtle, they are very important. For when you are feeling positive emotion, you are attracting into your experiences that which you want. When you're feeling negative emotion, you are in the process of attracting that which you do not want. As I said, it might be quite obvious, but is a nice reminder every now and then that it could make a difference the way you're approaching your practice, your day. So maybe in this practice, bringing your awareness to that you can do. With your next inhalation, let's spread ourselves out a little bit further. Take your legs a bit further apart. Stretch your arms up over the head, but keep them out wide too, like you are a starfish lying on the ground. And I invite you to point your feet and reach into your fingers as you're next inhaling and have a big stretch into all these 4 corners. Let's make it a 5th and stretch up into the crown of the head. Then allow a sigh and soften the body. Keep it in this shape, just soften and relax it. And as you're next inhaling now, let's flex the feet as well as the wrists and press out through the heels as well as through the heels of your hands. And then have a sigh again and just soften. I will ask you from there to slide your feet up onto the mat, placing the feet onto the ground, but wiggle them quite close so that the insides of the feet and the knees are touching. Slide your arms a little bit lower, maybe just to shoulder height, and then keep the knees together and start to rock the knees now from side to side, getting into a movement. You're noticing the pelvis moving. Of course, the legs, and maybe then drawing your attention to the range of movement that you're able to do here and with which you're moving into your spine. Once you have completed and are balanced to each side, pause. Keep the arms wide, but turn the hands down onto the ground. That's the palms, extending your legs up towards the ceiling and just simply beginning to point and flex the feet. Nothing else. The legs could bounce a little bit forward and back as you do so, but ground yourself down through the shoulders, through the arms. And if you feel it is appropriate, start to move the legs away from you and back in. If you feel this is a little bit strong, you could also slide your fingertips underneath the buttocks. So we could go a little bit deeper into the core muscles as you're flexing the feet now when you're moving them away from you and lowering the legs down towards the ground. The intensity of this movement here is completely up to you. You can take this very easy, or you could take the legs almost down towards the ground if that suits. Going for 2 more. And then completing that as you bend your knees over your chest. Release the hands, but now place the hands or fingers behind the head. You can ground down through the elbows here and the shoulders as well. Keep your knees touching and repeat our previous movement only with the feet off the floor as we're moving the knees from side to side. So I'm guiding you through a little bit of strength as well as some mobility in the spine. And as usual, if there's anything that is too much or doesn't suit your body, please feel free to step back to a previous variation or find your own adjustments. So I would love you from here to step your feet onto the ground, to reach the arms up over the head onto the floor, to fold your thumb into the palm of the hand and wrap all the other fingers around. So you're making a fist in which the thumb is included. If possible, have your arms fully stretched out over the head onto the floor. We will only lift the right leg up, flexing the foot. And we will throw the leg down towards the floor and just catching it above the ground for 10 rounds. After the last one, you will step this foot to the ground. Keep your setup. We'll go straight to the other side, lifting the left leg up. Flex the foot, and again, throw the leg down just off the ground if you can. 10 rounds, arms extended, strong fists, and counting all at the same time. And once you've completed, bending both knees in towards the chest and give them a hug now using your arms or hands. Invitation to rock for a moment from side to side, stimulating now even the upper back. And then when that feels good, you can choose to rock over to one side or forward and back, finding a way up onto a seated position and then tucking the toes under as we come onto our feet. So if possible, stay quite low, like you are in a squatting position. If this hurts your knees, please stand a little bit taller. So trying to be on our feet and maybe bringing the hands into the center and let the knees open. Now you can still do that if you're standing a bit taller, so that's fine. Let's find balance on the feet and take a breath in to stretch your arms up. If you're falling, at least we're still nice and close towards the floor. And as you're breathing out now, make fists, pull down, push into your feet, rise to standing. We're quite strong this morning. As you inhale, extending the arms up. Have a big sigh and bend forward, bend your knees as you do so. Then come back into your previous squat. You know now how low or how high you want to be. Let's inhale, stretch the arms back up, play with the balance. Make the fists as you're breathing out, push down into the feet and pull your arms down. Inhale, stretch the arms up, sigh for a forward bend. Do bend your knees as you're moving downwards. Then release last time into your squat. Find your balance. Take a deep breath in to lift the arms, be playful. And then pull down and push as you're rising up into standing. Now, if you're wandering a little bit forward and back, let's make this movement bigger. Just take a few steps forward and back on your mat. Now, I've got my mat squared off. If you want to do the same this morning, it may or may not work, at least to a certain extent. We will begin our practice with a wider stance, turning the toes of the feet into the corners of the mat. Starting quite simple. Let's take a breath in and reach the arms upwards. And as you're breathing out, palms facing up and arms go out to shoulder height. While you're breathing in, we're turning one hand down and the gaze towards that hand. And when breathing out, come to center, palm facing upwards. Let's change sides. Inhale, turn the hand and your head. Exhaling, center. Inhale, reach your arms up, maybe your gaze. Stand strong on both feet still and return to arms out at shoulder height, palms facing upwards, relaxing the shoulders. We'll repeat, maybe with the other arm first. As you inhale, turn the hand and look towards this hand. And as you're breathing out, center again. Once more to the other side as you're breathing in. And on the out breath, come to center. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Same arms, but now bending the knees as you're breathing out. And you can come as high or low as suits you. Breathe in, turn the head and one hand. Breathe out to center. Inhale, other side. Exhaling, center. Now press down through the soles of the feet as you inhale, straighten the legs, reach arms up, lift your gaze. And as you're exhaling, return to the goddess stance, arms wide, palms facing upwards. Inhale, turn one hand and your gaze to it. Breath out, center. Other side, inhale. Exhale, center. Breathe in now, press into the feet, reaching the arms upwards. As you're breathing out, come back into the squat. Let's place one forearm down. You choose which one. Take a breath in, swing the arm over into a reach and extend the opposite leg. And as you're breathing out, brush over the head and push out to the side. Let's change sides. Place the other forearm down. Take a breath in as you're reaching your arm across, lengthening into the opposite leg, and then brush over the head and lower. Let's inhale, reaching all the way up, extending through the legs again. And out breath as you bend your knees and open the arms. We'll repeat to the other side. So opposite forearm starts down. Breathe in, extend into your leg and reach across. Breath out, brush over the head and push out to the side. Forearm lands. Let's do that again, other direction. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, come over. Push down into both feet, inhaling, lifting the arms. Now we will change things out, just opening the arms out wide, shoulder height. We will turn the right toes out, the left heel a little, approaching our first triangle pose. On and out breath, open up into the triangle. Please have a look internally, looking into the joints in the legs. Are you locking? Can you gently unlock? Is there still the strength that comes all the way from the feet into the pelvis, the sides of the waist? Can you explore this openness a little bit more? And then on and out breath, give yourself a hug across the shoulders, but maintain your shape. Breathing in, open the arms again. We'll change the hug as you're breathing out. Ideally, both legs are straight. We'll repeat 2 more. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale for a hug. Inhaling, open. And exhaling, hugging again. Now let's release that. Bend into both of your knees. Take your hands down, lift the back heel, bring your knees down onto the mat and retreat into an extended child's pose. On your in-breath, roll the spine forward. Find your kneeling plank to start with. Keep your elbows nice and close and exhale to lower down onto the mat. Hands wide for the first one, fingertips on the ground. Inhale, wave yourself up, wide arm cobra, shoulders relaxed. Stay here, 2 breaths, ground down through the legs, the feet. When completed, release towards the floor, hands by the sides of the ribs, push yourself up onto all fours, tuck the toes under, and if that's right for you, lift the knees off the ground, coming into your first down dog. Please do move the dog if it requires a little bit of movement. You're welcome to land on all fours if preferred. Let's breathe in and lift the right leg. On the out breath, bring your knee to your nose. Then land the foot forward or help it there. Ground down to the heel of the other foot. Take your hands into the center, turning your toes back out towards the corners of the mat. Knees are soft. Let's press down into the legs, breathing in. Reach your arms up, lengthen through the legs. And as you're breathing out, only lowering the arms out to shoulder height. We will change direction. Left foot turns out, right heel a little bit. Take a breath in. And as you're breathing out, finding your triangle shape. Now do make your little changes, anything that needs to change for yourself. Find your strong stance. Joints out of the lock. And yet there's a good weight and lift coming through the ground into legs, pelvis, and that lightness coming through the sides of the waist. Keeping yourself extended here as you inhale. And when you're breathing out, give yourself a hug around the shoulders, maintaining your shape. Breathing in to open the arms. Only a change which arm is on top for another hug. Repeating for 2 more. Breathe in to open. Breath out to embrace. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, embrace. We'll release that in the same way. So bending both knees. Let your hands come to the mat. Lift your heel. You can bring your knees down as you did before or step right into a plank or kneeling plank. Your choice. We will pause within the plank or kneeling plank, encouraging heels back and tailbones in that direction. And then we might all lower the knees down before we come down onto the mat, unless you're feeling super strong this morning. Your choice of going wide arms again or waving upright here into a cobra. Again, hold for 2 breaths, feeling grounded through the tops of the feet, the legs engaged. And when you've completed, release to the floor. Inhaling onto all fours, your choice of reaching back or lifting the knees straight away, returning into downward facing dog. On the next in-breath, the left leg is rising. On the out-breath, bring your knee into your nose. And then landing or helping the foot forward. Lower the right heel as well. Bring the hands back in between the feet. Keep your knees at a bend. We're pushing off the floor again. Push down into the ground. Inhale. Reach arms up. Lengthen legs. Maybe lifting the gaze. And as you're breathing out, just lowering the arms back out towards shoulder height. Now, I will invite you to bend the knees a little bit too and to turn your toes forward this time. Keep the knees in a bend as we're making our way halfway down. Arms still reaching out, lean halfway forward. My knees are a bit bent here. Now, please do take good care of your lower back in this position. If this is too much, back out a little bit. If you can hold halfway forward, even better. Let's move the left arm forward and the right arm back. And stretch forward and back to the fingertips. And when you're exhaling, let the palms touch at heart space. So Anjali Mudra. On a breath in, opposite arm reaches forward, the other one backwards. And exhaling, touch the palms again. Inhaling, I think you're getting it now. Reaching into the opposite directions. And exhaling, touch the hands. Breathe in, lengthen, forward, back. And exhale, touch the hands. Keep going, twice more on each side. And once you've completed, we will meet again with hands in prayer at heart center. Feel yourself still grounded through the feet. Knees might remain bent. If you're happy here, hold. Otherwise, extending both arms forward. I suggest to separate the palms, but leave them facing towards each other. If you need to release this posture, come into standing forward bend. If you can hold for a bit longer, make sure the shoulders are in their sockets. Taking 2 more breaths. And before you fold, let your arms swing behind your back, interlace the hands here, lengthen down the spine while breathing in and then folding forward, and maybe your arms are lifting away from your back. So that's your standard wide-legged forward fold. Variation C. Let the head become heavy so the neck is having a break. Lean the weight slightly forward within the feet so the tailbone is high. And then tap back into your deeper breathing, allowing the out breath now to be your main point of focus, which might help you to release that little bit deeper into this forward fold. Staying for 3 more breaths. Once you completed the 3 breaths, just let the hands fall down towards the ground. Bending the knees and turning the toes back out into the corners of the mat. Push down into the feet as you inhale. Lengthen your legs, reach your arms up. Please do take your time for this. And as you're exhaling, just open the arms back out towards shoulder height. Now, while we're breathing in, we're just turning the right hand forward and the right foot out. The left heel aligns, and we're turning our gaze. And as you're exhaling, finding a triangle. Now the gaze here is down as we're still looking at the right hand. And as you take your next in-breath, bend your knee. Keep looking at the hand and find a warrior 2 where your palms are facing upwards. As you're breathing out, turn the palms down, but keep your gaze forward. We're inhaling, turning the arms or palms upwards. And exhaling, turn them down. Maintain your strong stance. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, turn the hands open. Exhaling, find your warrior 2. Keep the legs now as they are. And while you breathe in, or the feet I shall say, lengthen both legs, extend your arms upwards. And then on your out breath, find a supported side angle pose, which means you're bending the knee again and you're resting your forearm on top of the thigh. I will encourage you here to press the forearm into the thigh bone. So please make sure that the forearm is high up away from the knee. And as you're actively pushing down into the thigh bone, also push forward in the direction of the knee. If you're doing this, you will switch your whole core on while you're using the support. Now keep this pressure there, but as you inhale, bend your back knee and let your top arm swing down. And while you're breathing out, extend into the leg and reach your arm back up. We'll do that again. Breathe in, bend your knee. Swing your arm down, and the breath out as you're straightening the leg and extending the arm. One more. We will release this by swinging the arm down, hands down either side of the foot, stepping back into downward facing dog. Alternative all-4 stance. Breathe in, roll the spine forward, finding your vinyasa. Knees can be on or off the mat. Exhaling to lower. Find your back bend, breathing in. Either release to the mat or come straight back to your down dog. Allow a couple of breaths just to be here. So you're breathing in and out of your nose. Maybe you can even find this full, deep, long breath in. Take a pause as you're holding the breath. And then maybe even the breath exits the mouth. If this feels right, have 2 more of those breaths. Once you've completed your breathing, let your right leg lift again as you're inhaling. On the exhale, bring knee and nose together. And then stepping the foot forward again. Lower your heel. Let your hands walk again into the center, turning the toes outwards, bending your knees. Let's push into the floor. Inhale, rise up. Straighten legs, lift arms and your gaze. And when breathing out, just lowering the arms back up to shoulder height. Now, while we're breathing in, we will turn the feet. The gaze goes to the left hand that turns open. And on the out breath, finding triangle. You can keep your gaze down if you like. Just keep following this hand. Now on the in-breath, bend your knee. Come to warrior 2 where the arms or palms are facing upwards. We will turn the hands. Inhaling, turn the hands down and turn them open again. Repeat for 2 more breaths. Keep your gaze, your drishti steady, just rotating through the shoulders and arms. Once you have completed that, let's inhale again. Straighten the legs, keep the feet as they are. Lift your arms up, lift your gaze. And as you're breathing out, find a side angle pose with the forearm resting again on top of the thigh. Top arm, always yours to choose from depending on the shoulder. But the lower arm, make sure it's away from the knee. You're starting to press down into your thigh bone and then forward as well in the direction of the knee. But the forearm is well and truly away from it. This is here to support you, but also to help you strengthen at the same time. While your next inhale, bend your back knee, let your arms swing down. And as you're breathing out, extend through the leg and lift the arm again. Keep that strong pressure down into your thigh bone. Inhale, bend the knee and swing. Exhale, extend and open your arm again. 1 more, breathe in. And a breath out to open. We will release the whole posture down and either step it back to down dog or find your own variation. Nothing new happens here. We're engaging into vinyasa. Take it in the slow way. However many breaths you are taking to find your flow, it's perfect as we meet again in downward facing dog. Invitation on your next in-breath to lift your left leg. On the out-breath to bring the knee in towards the nose. And then stepping the foot between the hands. Walk the hands again in between your legs. Turn the toes back out to the corners of the mat and bend your knees. As you inhale, push into the feet. Rise up tall into standing. And find your goddess pose with the arms out to shoulder height as you bend your knees. We will turn the right foot forward. Turning the hand down, move the heel outwards. So we're back in a warrior two. As we breathe in, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Now let's lift the back heel and fly the arms out wide while the right knee is bending again. Now I'm cheating a little bit, got my cupboard there behind me, but if you can, hop the foot in or lift it up for an aeroplane pose. Now I will invite you to have your left toes facing downwards, or you can tap them onto the floor if you struggle with your balance today. It's too much of a play. So while you're holding your warrior pose, the arms are out wide. Let's on the next out breath bring the hands to touch in front of the heart. As you're breathing in, left arm forward, right arm back. Exhale, hands come to touch again. Other arm forward, inhaling. Exhaling, bring them together. Do so once more on each side. And here's the option to stay with hands at the heart or to extend into full warrior three, where you can touch the palms together or keep them facing. Point the foot, land the whole foot back down. Let's extend both legs as you're breathing in, lengthening through the whole front body. Then bend into your right knee. Bring the hands down as you're exhaling, and your knee comes to the mat as well, releasing through the back foot. So top of the foot here is down on the ground. Let's curl ourselves back up, taking a breath in to lift through the arms, keeping your right arm up and circling the left hand into the lower back. As you're breathing in, lifting your heart and looking into the palm of the right hand. We will release that as we're lowering the right forearm down to the top of the thigh. And here's a breath in to reach the left arm forward. And a breath out to land the left hand fingertips onto the mat. While you're inhaling now, lifting the right arm in for a twist. Your choice of staying here, or you can tuck the toes under and extend the knee off the ground. Let's swing the arm back and down. Lower the heel, walk the hands into the center, turn the toes out into the corners again, bend your knees. Pushing into the floor, take a breath in, rising up into standing. Your goddess pose with the arms open wide. We will turn the hand and the feet for a warrior two. As we lift the back heel, flying the arms out to the sides. Again, your choice of launching your warrior three or aeroplane pose right from here, or you can hop your foot in and approach the pose with some little hops in between. Leaving your arms out wide, foot is in flexion, so hips and toes are facing down. On the next out breath, bring the hands together in front of the chest. Legs are strong. As you inhale, reach the right arm forward, left arm back for a stretch across the back. And as you're exhaling, hands touch again at heart center. Other side, inhale, lengthen forward and back. Exhale, touch the hands. Repeating once more on each side, breathing in. And out, hands at the heart. One more time as you're breathing in. And out, hands at the heart. Now your choice of holding here or extending the arms forward for a full warrior 3. Pointing out through the toes as you're landing the foot down, landing the hands down and lowering your knee to the floor. Now let's untuck the toes, reach the arms up, breathing in. And as you're exhaling, only rotate the right arm backwards and place the hand into the back. And as you're inhaling, lift through the heart space and look up into the palm of the hand. Now, to release that, let's lower the forearm down onto the thigh. Take a breath in and reach the right arm forward. And as you're breathing out, place the fingertips down onto the mat. And while you're inhaling, now lift your left arm. Your choice of staying here or tucking the back toes under and extending out into your leg. Let's swing this arm back and we will step it back for a downward facing dog. This might be your last opportunity for a flow. So if you have anything special in mind that nourishes your body, that takes you into this is my solution for the condition of my body at this moment, then take this slightly different approach. Perfectly fine. We will meet on a downward facing dog when you are ready. Once you've found your downward dog, let's breathe in and bring the knees down onto the ground. Maybe even crossing the ankles to come to sit. If this is not yours, please bring the feet out to one side as we're extending the legs forward. Very simple approach for our seated forward bend. We will keep our right leg long and bend the left knee, and if possible, sliding the foot to the inner thigh for Janu Shirshasana. It's okay to have the foot somewhere else though. Support yourself if you need something underneath your buttocks, blanket, rolled up mat. Turn the right toes to face towards the ceiling. Bring your fingertips onto the ground and sit on your sit bones. Nice and tall spine while you're taking a breath in. The hands come together at heart space. And as you're breathing out, you're extending forward and reaching the arms forward. Lower your gaze, breathe in and reach even further forward, even out of the shoulders. But then as you're breathing out, land the hands down in comfort as you're approaching the pose in a slightly different fashion today. Keep the shoulders relaxed, your head moving in the direction of the knee, and this leg could be bent if you require that for your back. Stay with this forward fold for a few more breaths. I would love you to twist from here. So press the hands into the ground wherever they are and lengthen the spine kind of halfway forward. Taking the opposite hand either to the outer edge of the foot or somewhere against the outside of your leg, doesn't matter. And as you take a breath in now, let's extend the right arm backwards. Maybe even follow it a little bit with the gaze. Noticing how this twist feels for you, where it might take you. Then place your right hand fingertips down behind you, just the fingertips. Release the hand, or the left hand, And take a breath in. As you're lifting the left arm, lift your gaze, lift your heart. And then landing the left hand fingertips behind as well. Bending the right leg in front, chakrasana, as we are in sukhasana now, or easy pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift through the front. Open your heart even more, even open the throat if your neck is okay with that. And then release that on the next out breath. Just coming back to center, we will change our legs over. So now the left leg is extending forward and we're bringing the right foot against the inside of the left leg. Find your seat. You might want to bend your knees, but more important, toes are facing up. Now place your fingertips onto the floor and lean back to your sit bones. So you're nice and tall and grounded as you're inhaling. Then bring the hands together at heart center. And folding forward as you're breathing out. Reaching the arms forward as you lower your gaze, breathing in. And then releasing the hands down where they feel comfortable, the shoulders relaxed, and keeping your nose facing in the direction of the knee. Shoulders in their sockets, and we're bending from here. Your breath is the connection to your flexibility as you're focusing on the out breath to help with it. We will come halfway out of this forward bend as we're lengthening the spine. And it's now the right hand that reaches either for the outer edge of the foot or somewhere against the outside of your leg. And as you're breathing in, let the left arm move backwards and focus on it as you change your gaze point backwards as well. Landing your left hand fingertips onto the mat behind you. And as you're taking a breath in, lifting the right arm, looking into the palm of the hand, beginning to open the heart space. And then circle this arm behind, landing either the fingertips down as you're sliding the foot in and just completing another chakrasana. However, if you want to go stronger, you could land your hands or fists down behind, come into tabletop or upward facing plank. Your choice how deep you're taking this back bend, as you might just lift through the heart, maybe open the throat or squeeze the buttocks as you're lifting your hips up into the air. Stay with that. 2 more breaths. And as you're releasing the posture or rising back to sit, extending both legs out in front, finding our way down onto our backs. So if you want to wear any jumpers, socks, or need any props for relaxation, please gather them around. As you find your way down onto your back, take the legs with you. Have your arms alongside the body and extend the legs upwards. So I'm inviting you into either this very gentle inversion where you could lift the hips and pop the hands underneath and then relax and hold here. Stay in that very first, simply lifting the legs up. Or if that is within your practice, you could add a shoulder stand, but please be mindful that neck and shoulders need to feel quite good to approach this pose. I invite you, once you've found your variation of this inversion, to just close the eyes. to connect back with the flow of energy in the body. And you might notice that it's significantly different to before as we are in an inversion, but you might experience something else as well. To come into Shavasana, either lower your hips if you were in a shoulder stand and find your preferred counter pose, or bend your knees in over the chest and give them a hug. You're welcome to rock once more from side to side or to remain still. Then entering Shavasana with all the support that you might like, such as cushioning under head and knees. Finding either constructive resting pose or full Shavasana, arms rolling open, and to provide that support for the shoulders, find your arms in the perfect position so the shoulders can ground with ease. Then taking a deep breath in through the nose. Full slow breath out of the nose, and maybe briefly holding the breath at the end of the exhalation. Then repeat that twice more, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose, and pausing at the end of your exhalation. And then go for the last round. Pause at the end of the out breath. Once you've completed those, come into stillness, no more control. Letting the body come to rest in Shavasana. Maybe the first thing that you notice is a different feeling of your energies or your breathing. You allow yourself to be still. Noticing if the mind is centered or its tendency to move towards solution or problem. Turning the mind to the breath as it flows. Here's a suggestion for you. If every morning for the next 30 days, you begin your day by saying, I intend to see. You might silently repeat, I intend to see. I expect to see. No matter who I am with. No matter where I am, no matter what I am doing, I intend to see that which I want to see. If you did that, you will change the momentum of your life experience. Allowing yourself now to deepen your breathing, start moving again. And then finding your way back to a seated position. Where we meet with hands touching gently in front of the chest, the eyes ideally closed or the gaze steady. And today we're rubbing the hands together vigorously a few times. Only then to cub our eyes with the warm hands. Relaxing the eyes into the warmth of the hands before blinking them open into the darkness. Intention to see what you want to see. As we gently bow to each other, keeping the hands still in front of our eyes. And then as we lift to sit, we're opening the eyes again, resting the hands down. Namaste, everybody.